Hi everyone, I'm Nathan from the ebookreader.com. I just got done posting this review for the 2nd gen Nexus 7, so I thought I'd go ahead and put together this video here to go ahead and show you guys some of the features in action. So first thing I want to talk about is the hardware. So compared to the original Nexus 7, the new Nexus 7, it's a little bit taller, just like less than 1/4 of an inch, and it's just a little bit narrower too, just about 1/4 of an inch, but that doesn't sound like much, but in practice, when you're actually holding it, it really feels a lot lighter and thinner than the old Nexus 7. It's one of the first tablets that feels almost as light as an ebook reader to me. It's really favorable as far as the weight distribution. I'm not terribly fond of these super tiny bezels here along the side. It's got these really huge ones on the top and bottom. It feels a little bit more suited for holding in portrait mode, or landscape mode I mean, but I tend to use it in portrait mode most of the time, and I just sort of like it that way. It is pretty darn easy to hold one-handed. You just sort of like hold like this, and you can use your thumb to interact with stuff, so it definitely is on the portable side with the light and thin frame. I really do like that. A couple of new things that Google added with this model: we've got a rear camera on the back. It doesn't take the greatest pictures, but I guess it's serviceable. We've also got some speakers right here, and there's also speakers on the other side, so you get a good sort of stereo sound when you're holding the device like this. You can really hear the sound coming from both sides, which is kind of nice. It's better than just coming from the one side like the old Nexus. Then we've got the power and volume buttons here like before. There's a headphone jack, microphone, so there's a minimal of ports on here. There's no HDMI port or anything. It just has this micro USB port, which actually supports slim port adapters, so you can actually connect an HDMI through there if you buy the adapter that costs like 30 bucks. And of course we got the front facing camera like the old Nexus. So you know, it's a lot of the same as the original Nexus. We've got the new upgraded screen, which is the biggest change. This is the thing that I like the most about this tablet, is because like when you're reading web pages like this and you're zoomed out, you can actually still totally perfectly read every little tiny text right over here. It's also crisp and clear with the 1920 by 1200 resolution screen. That's the highest resolution screen currently available on any 7-inch tablet, and it really is quite nice. I mean, it really comes in handy when you're using the web browser like this with the smaller text. It also comes in handy when you're reading ebooks with smaller fonts. It's not a whole lot of difference when you're talking regular font sizes compared to the old Nexus. I mean, it's really going to be pretty comparable. But when you're talking like the small fonts on magazines, and you're talking smaller fonts in the web browser, the improved resolution really does add a lot to the device. So it doesn't. I usually don't like 7-inch tablets for magazines and stuff like this, because it's just sort of so narrow. It's kind of usually hard to read, but I can actually tolerate it just fine on this Nexus 7, because you can actually read the small text just fine without needing to zoom in all the time, which is like a definite advantage over some of the lower resolution tablets. So I went ahead and downloaded this. I got Zinio here, so if you haven't seen my tutorial on my website on theebookreader.com, check it out. There's this way you can get all these magazines for free from Zinio using your local library. So like this magazine I got free from Zinio using my library. What I like, I'm saying here with the magazines, is usually with the larger screens like the iPad, they fare a lot better. And I still think an iPad is probably better for a lot of this kind of stuff, but this is the first 7-inch tablet that I can actually tolerate using reading magazines, just because the screen is so high resolution. You don't need to zoom in on that super tiny text right here to even read it. I mean, it's clearly readable. I doubt it's going to show up on this camera, but as far as the high resolutions goes, I mean, you can totally read that no problem at all with the high resolution screen on this new Nexus, and that's definitely an advantage. Another advantage with the screen is it's just a lot more colorful. So just the colors, I guess it has 30% more colors than the original Nexus, and it is just a lot brighter. The screen's a lot brighter, it's a lot clearer. I definitely really like the screen. I wish Google would have added a micro SD card slot, but you still get no memory expansion with the Nexus tablets, so that's one thing to consider. So as far as performance goes, this tablet is really smooth as far as any kind of games you throw at it. I haven't seen any stuttering whatsoever. The volume is really loud with these two speakers. So yeah, the speakers are definitely improved over last year's model. Let me go ahead and show you a couple video games on here to show you the performance. So games like this, you're obviously not going to have much trouble playing this on most tablets, but the colors are very detailed and bright. That's one thing about this particular game, it definitely has a lot of color. So as far as games go, like I said, I haven't had any stutter whatsoever. There's this game that stuttered on the Nexus 7, the original Nexus 7, that I thought was just because of the game, but it actually plays as smooth as butter on the new Nexus 7. So this game still takes 47 years to load, but once it gets going, the graphics look pretty good. Graphics look really good, in fact.
What the hell was that? A psyker, and it's playing with us. You heard the commander.
Yeah, there's no stuttering at all or zooming around or spinning around in movement. There's always a little bit of stutter on the older Nexus 7, but yeah, it's really smooth on this this new processor. Okay, so the new Nexus, it runs Android 4.3. There really isn't any difference between Android 4.3 and Android 4.2. You get like you get user profiles you can add in here if you want to share your tablet with somebody, for instance. But otherwise, I mean, the software is very much exactly the same as the other Nexus. It's already got updated to 4.3 as well. So the software is parallel between the two. You're not going to get any upgrades as far as the new device, as far as software. You're only getting all the upgrades as far as hardware is concerned. You get all the Google apps as usual pre-installed on here. We got it's the same as before. We got Google Keep as a new Note app added onto here. So Android 4.3, just like the earlier versions of Android, you can add widgets to your home screens here. So you got different Zinio widget here. I got this Kobo widget. There's all these different kinds of widgets. This is your recent library widget from Google. You can also create folders, put all your different apps into folders. So definitely get the different options as far as this goes. And you've also got the different wallpaper options. I really tend to like the blue one. You can set something up a lot more colorful if you want. I've also got these, there's these different live wallpapers, and the live wallpapers really don't hinder performance at all like they do on some of the older tablets when you've got slower processors. This quad-core processor is not going to slow it down any, so you can definitely use the live wallpapers without any degradation in quality. So the screen has got really strong viewing angles. Like I said, the colors are really good. They're better than the original Nexus 7. It's one of my favorite tablets as far as the screen goes. And I really do like the lightweight of it. It's very good for reading, I do believe. I use it a lot for, I've been using it a lot for reading, even though I usually use e-ink devices. I've actually really come to like this device a lot more than I expected to. I guess just mostly because of the screen. Obviously, like every little bit of text, like these little tiny bits of text, are really easy to read on here. As far as the RSS reader goes, I really do like using the reading apps on here just because of the screen. I like using the web browser just because, like I said, everything is super clear. You don't really even need to zoom in. When you're using portrait mode, you can still just read it just fine. You can just do the double tap to get it bigger as well as usual. So of course the device comes with Google Play Books on board. It actually allows you to sideload your own EPUB ebooks now. That's a new feature they recently added. So you can add your own ebooks on here. I do like the look of this, the Google Play Books app. It does have a nice look. It's got the animated page turns, and it's got 2-page landscape mode. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details with e-reading right now. Because I want to do individual reviews for ebook reading on this device. Like I'm going to do some reviews for some different comic apps and some different e-reading apps, just to give you like in-depth look at the e-reading. For this one, I just sort of wanted to do like a quick gloss over, show you the different features of the device as a main review, and check back for some other reviews for some detailed information. Let me go ahead and show you a comic here. I really do like the look of comics on here as well. With the text balloons are easy enough to read with the high resolution screen. So it's a lot of other tablets, they're going to be a little bit more fuzzy, and then you got to zoom in to be able to read the text balloons. But definitely with the high res screen, you can definitely read these balloons without any issue on here. And then the colors, obviously, they look really good too. Nice, good color depth. So this device, like the old one's got GPS built in. It's got an NFC chip. It's also got a new feature, wireless charging, if you got one of those special wireless chargers. So we've also, like before, you don't get flash support with the Android Jelly Bean or the Nexus 7, but you can install other workarounds, like Puffin web browser is one workaround that you can use to view flash. What it does is it routes it through their service, so you can actually view flash using the Puffin browser, and it does work on there. So one thing I like about this new screen is it has a good brightness level. Some devices, they're just too bright at night, but this one, if you go ahead and adjust the brightness level up here, Right now I have it full. If you go all the way down to low, it's really nice and dim for reading at night when you have all the lights off. Definitely is better than a lot of other tablets I test that are just still too bright. And I used to have to use a dimming app, like on the old Nexus 7. I have to use the screen dim app in order to read at night because it's too bright. But with the new screen, definitely has the good brightness levels on there. So one of the limitations with the Nexus tablets is they don't have the micro SD card slot. So you can use like wireless hard drives, or you can use like remote apps. Like I can use like Splashtop Remote HD to connect to my desktop, and I can just basically use my desktop computer exactly if I were standing at it from the Nexus 7. So there are kind of workarounds to be able to use different apps for different types of media use, and you can also of course get like a Kingston Wi-Fi drive if you wanted to have a wireless hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for some additional information. Like I said, I have the full written review posted there. And I'm also going to be posting individual reviews for certain e-reading apps. I want to get in depth with e-reading on this device just to show you guys exactly how it works, because I think it is probably the best e-reading tablet just because of the super high resolution screen. And like I said, comics and magazines, it's one of the first 7-inch tablets that I don't actually mind reading comics or magazines on, because you can actually read the text balloons without zooming in, and also like with web browsing, just because every little bit of text is easy to read instead of having to zoom in on everything. So check out ebookreader.com, and thank you for watching.